make a turn to the north here pretty soon. Pressure is 987 millibars.
Officially, Katrina made landfall at 6:30 last night on the Miami-Dade Broward County line.
And meteorologist Jim Cantori was ahead of the storm in Fort Lauderdale to capture its arrival.
It is 6 o'clock Eastern time. We are dealing with the eye wall of Hurricane Katrina. Palm limbs like that down on power lines. We got a lot of power outages here in Broward County. The airport shut down as well. Wind and rain continue with Katrina here at 20 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock. Look at this sand running up the beach. Even as little sand that's showing here, running between these two buildings and just piling up on top of the brick. Just one of the effects on how the wind constantly reshapes the beach. The winds here are so strong, they're taking the sand from the beach and pushing it with the water all the way into the parking lot. It's 6:45 now. We've got a little protection from the wind right here. So much for a center of circulation and a calm eye. That's not to be found with Katrina. Winds continue to howl here, and as you can see, as far as these aluminum gutters and fascia board are considered, Katrina was no match for it. It's 7:45 in the evening here, and we continue to deal with the eye wall of Hurricane Katrina. Winds gusting over hurricane force at times. Power is down all over Broward County. And I can't believe how strong this wind is. It is bringing up any bit of sand it can find. And just sandblasting all of us here. We can't broadcast, we can't get the dish up. And it's no surprise here with the kind of winds the way they are. Amazingly, 2 hours after landfall, we are still dealing with this kind of wind, with a storm that just barely became a hurricane before it moved onshore. Nothing worse than an intensifying storm, no matter how small it is, upon landfall. Oh.
Winds from Katrina still strong. Flooding rain's a problem, and a tornado in Marathon earlier this morning.
And of course, we'll have to watch out for that threat to the day today. Another concern, though, major roads being impacted, Jen. Any problems so far?
Haven't seen any major roads being impacted by flooding, but there's many side streets and surface streets there in the city. Miami-Dade County still under a flash flood warning. Some very difficult travel this morning. I advise you not to head out until we get some improvement in terms of the weather and in terms of cleanup. There's a lot of trees down and power lines down in some cases. So South Florida will continue to update you on the streets there. And we also want to talk about another thunderstorms today that are going to cause delays elsewhere. Kansas City, Houston, 2 of the places I'll keep my eye on. I'll have more on travel conditions around the country in the next 10 minutes. We have the latest here on Hurricane Katrina. And let's talk about the winds a little bit. Still, we're seeing wind gusts over 30 miles per hour in Miami. Sustained winds of 25 miles per hour. Over 1 million people still without power here in South Florida. Could be catastrophic flooding here in South Florida. It's going to be hard to drain this stuff. It's going to be around for quite a while. Some of the heaviest rains now in southern Florida into the Keys. And Nick talked about where we had that tornado touchdown in Marathon here. And we had some damage to some homes, also to a hangar, about 11 aircraft damaged. You can see where the eye is now emerging back out in open water. Winds are picking up from Fort Myers to Naples. You guys can expect tropical storm force winds through the day today, and maybe close to hurricane force. Tropical storm warnings continue in your area, so make the preparations now. Secure loose items and prepare, of course, for maybe even isolated tornadoes. And here's the path, westerly and then more northerly with time, and it looks like it could be maybe Monday morning. Now we're going a little bit later now into Monday afternoon for landfall here, a second one, and maybe even a stronger hurricane here for the Florida Panhandle. So you guys start watching. Of course, we'll track this for you and keep a close eye over the weekend. Right now, it's pretty quiet there, but we will see more showers and storms develop. Houston, New Orleans.